It is time once again for another Chicago Bears pregame show on the KeNikka Sports Channel. A special playoff edition of the pregame show for the Bears, who are set to host the Packers for just the third ever postseason meeting between these two storied rivals, Nika, often referred to as the greatest rivalry in sports history.
Wow, that's a nice name.
Yeah, it's been going pretty long, since 1921.
Wow.
We actually have a whole special coming out about this little playoff history because it's so bizarre to me that over 100 years of history and there's only 2 playoff games between these two.
That's what makes it special this time around.
It does. The third time is the charm, as they say. So this, look out. This might be the best one yet. And all 3 meetings in Chicago, by the way. The first one at Wrigley Field and the second one at Soldier Field. This will also be at Soldier Field. So that's a little bit odd how that worked out. And the only 3 playoff games. This game is on Saturday night, which will be on Amazon Prime. More about that in a second. I wanted to kick off this show by just recapping the Bears-Lions game one last time because the Bears are kind of limping into the playoffs here. There's one weird thing about this matchup that I've heard a couple people mention, and every time I hear it, I'm like, wow, this is so fascinating. The Bears and Packers, the last time they won a game this year was against each other. So if you go back to Week 14, the Packers beat the Bears at home. Then they go to Denver, and they lose Micah Parsons for the season. Yeah. With that knee injury. And since then, they haven't won a game. They lost to Denver, they lost to the Bears, they lost to the Ravens, and they lost to the Vikings to close out the season. 4 straight losses. The Bears, on the other hand, they lose to San Francisco after that thrilling comeback against Green Bay, and then kind of lay a dud against the Lions last week coming into this game. But we still won the NFC North championship out of all of this, and I think, you know, when it comes down to this game against the Packers, you cannot underestimate how important having home field advantage is in this game. It's going to be crazy Saturday night. This might be the loudest game ever in Chicago Bears history.
I'm sure it will be packed too.
Well, here is the playoff picture, Nika. And as you can see, the Bears-Packers matchup down there, along with we have the Eagles hosting the 49ers. That's going to be a fascinating game. The Panthers are hosting the Los Angeles Rams, everybody. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, will host the Houston Texans, who have, won 9 in a row coming into this game? Holy cow. Look out for that.
They are hot.
The Bills will be visiting Jacksonville. A lot of people like the Bills in this game. I wouldn't underestimate Jacksonville.
True.
And then you have New England hosting Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers. A positive takeaway from that dud of a Lions game, Nika. Colston Loveland was named NFL Pepsi Zero Sugar Rookie of the Week, everybody. Congratulations to Colston Loveland. That was after a 10-catch performance, over 90 yards, and of course a touchdown pass at the end to bring the Bears within 2. Great draft pick. A lot of opinions about who will wind up being the best tight end in this draft, but I think the Bears got a great one, everybody. Probably the best tight end they've had since Ditka. Well, let's go ahead and keep this moving because Colston Loveland, he was interviewed this week and he let in a little insight into what Ben Johnson was telling the team after the loss to the Lions. And he said, quote, "If you're thinking about anything else, thinking about booking a flight, vacations, or anything, don't come in." Yeah, I'm with you, Ben Johnson. I think that Lions game left a pretty bitter taste in a lot of Bears fans' mouths. Here's Ben Johnson after the game. Quote, "We're turning the page. We've got the number 2 seed. We've got a home game next week, and we've got a new season on the horizon." Yeah, it is. It's the postseason, everybody. That is another season.
Exactly. The slate is clean right now.
The slate is clean, and the intensity is about to kick up a notch, everybody. And we're lucky that it's at home. And if we win, it's at home. So
that's great.
That would be fun. Let's have fun. I like fun.
There's something to play for other than just another game.
there's a lot more to play for than just the Packers. Here is the head coach outside, and it says dialed in on this Bears promo video. But I'm excited that Ben Johnson is the head coach of the Bears for this playoff game, everybody. And this is what he said in one of his other press conferences this week, quote, "We're mentally prepared to play for 5 more weeks." And I love the mindset, you know, it says we're going to the Super Bowl. We're playing for the Lombardi Trophy, everybody. We're not here to win the NFC. We're not here to beat the Packers. We're here to go and win the Super Bowl. That should be the goal all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just great that it's his first year and we're already talking about it and having that conversation. We talked about the Bears being ahead of schedule. This is just more proof of that.
It's really refreshing to hear from a coach, too, that their aspirations are bigger than just beat up on the Packers.
Of course, you can sense that there's an increased sort of media presence at Hallis Hall this week. It's really nice to hear the coach getting mentally prepared for another month plus of football here. I'm here for it. We're here for it, Nika. Let's not get our hopes up too much. But we have to win the Packers game first. We have to take this one game at a time. And it's crazy that it is the Packers, Nika. Well, for the 3rd time in history only. This is absolute cinema for the NFL, right? I guess the only thing better would be a later round playoff matchup like the NFC Championship it was in 2010. But I think this matchup is even more intriguing in some ways because it's like both young quarterbacks, kind of, both young head coaches, kind of. I mean, Matt LaFleur is the oldest coach in the NFC by like a couple months over Kyle Shanahan only, but still. He's the oldest coach. And I mean, like a lot of people pointed out, Kyle Shanahan looks a lot older than him. Interesting. Interesting observation. It happens. Yeah. I can't believe that this is still only the 3rd time they're going to be playing in the playoffs and how lucky the NFL gets to have this playoff matchup. Now, if you look at this historically, Nika, each of the prior 2 times these teams have met in the playoffs, 1941 and 2010, the winner went on to be crowned NFL champion.
Oh, wow. So there's a historical aspect.
In 1941, the Bears won the NFL championship versus the New York Giants the following week after beating the Packers in the playoffs. And they were crowned 1941 NFL champions. Now, the Super Bowl didn't exist yet.
Okay.
The Packers in 2010 beat the Bears in the NFC championship and then won the Super Bowl the following week, 2 weeks, against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Interesting.
Ironic. Aaron Rodgers won against the Steelers.
Well, we know history likes to repeat itself, so let's see how this is going to turn out.
Do you think history will repeat itself? Do you think the winner of this game will go on to at least appear in the Super Bowl?
Sure. I will go with that. Why not?
It's an interesting one, right? Yeah. There's a lot riding on this game, believe it or not, that we're going to talk about throughout the show, and I'm excited about that. For the game itself, the NFL is actually getting a lot of crap right now because this game was selected as the only wild card playoff game to be on Amazon Prime, which is a subscription-based service. The rest of the wild card games, now I'm not sure about the Monday night game because that's a weird one too. There's a Monday night game, but the rest of the wild card games are on CBS, Fox, or NBC, which you can watch just with rabbit ear antennas if you want to. But you know, the game that everybody wants to watch, Green Bay versus Chicago, you can't watch it on cable. Well, if you live in Chicago or Green Bay, you definitely can, because it's going to be simulcast on your local Fox affiliate, whether you're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Chicago, Illinois. You're going to be able to watch this game, no problem, just the way you usually do, probably. Now, for those of you who are not in those local markets and you don't want to pay for Amazon, there is another solution that I have not seen anybody talking about. And
do tell.
Yes, this is interesting to me because I only found out about this because of this game. And Amazon Prime, the Thursday night football games, are always broadcast on Twitch, everybody. There is a Twitch channel called Prime Vision. And it says Prime Vision with Next Gen Stats is an alternate feed for Thursday night football, bringing fans even closer to Thursday night football. So it's even more interesting than the actual feed, as it has all these next-gen stats available to you as you watch the game. I'm excited to check this out. I've never seen this before. I'm going to check it out on Twitch. Even though we have Amazon Prime and I'll probably have it on the TV that way, on my computer, I might load up the Twitch and check out what this is all about because I'm curious.
So you just need to download the Twitch app, basically.
You need to have the Twitch app or go to the Twitch website.
Oh,
you can
okay.
just go to their channel on Twitch, and I believe you can just watch the game. It says, you know,
you don't
like,
need an account.
Well, you might need an account. I don't
Okay.
know. Even so, it's free. And if you have an Amazon account already, you can
Just log in.
and watch it. You don't even need Prime. You just need an account. Maybe.
Okay.
So check this
That's an
out if you
option.
don't have it. And I even looked at this on the channel schedule. It shows January 10th or 11th matchup to be decided. Well, we now know it is going to be Green Bay at Chicago on the 10th at, what is the time now? 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Is that what they said?
Yes.
They moved it from 7:30 p.m. to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. That will be 7:10 Chicago time, 6:10 in the desert, 5:10 on the West Coast. You got that?
Thanks.
All right, no problem. It's been a little bit chilly out there, not just outside, Nika. It's been a little bit chilly on social media this week, as you might imagine, between these two long-standing rivals. And has it even extended to the coaches here? Ben Johnson saying to the media, quote, "Some teams, they rest their starters. We don't. We play football." Was that a jab at Matt LaFleur?
Sure. A little
who
bit.
rested his starters last week when the Packers had to play at Minnesota in what was essentially a meaningless game? He said on his decision, quote, "I think we did the right thing today." I can't disagree with either coach's strategy here. Look, the Bears were trying to win that game last week and have the number 2 seed in the playoffs. That matters. And Matt LaFleur, in a meaningless game, resting his starters and giving them an additional bye week, did the right thing. So I don't think either coach did the wrong thing here, and I don't think either coach was particularly jabbing at the other coach with any of this, even though some people think it is kind
It's
of
not a
meant that
jab.
way. Look, the Eagles rested their starters last week too,
Sure.
and that might be more consequential, everybody, because they could have, with minimal effort, probably taken the number 2 seed from the Bears, rested their starters the whole second half, and won that game, and they chose not to do it. So if they have to then come and play at Chicago next week, they will regret it.
Maybe.
They might regret it.
They might. Maybe. Let's just focus on this game first.
We will, absolutely. I'm just pointing that out. You know,
Okay.
like, I don't know if that comment was directed at the Packers solely when the Eagles did the same thing and actually cost themselves an opportunity to overtake the Bears. I'm just saying.
Maybe they prefer to go after the Rams.
I wouldn't want to play the Rams over the Packers right now. I wouldn't.
get it.
I think the Eagles made a mistake here, and we'll see if time proves me right.
Okay.
Hey, if we couldn't have any more drama for Saturday night's game, the weather, everybody, has made an appearance in the forecast, at least, because snow is being forecasted for this game on Saturday night. You know, I looked at an AccuWeather report today, and it looks like there's going to be some rain first and then some snow, and that could just be nasty.
Ooh.
Nasty Chicago. I'm not necessarily excited about that aspect of this game, but I do think it might give the Bears a slight edge because the elements tend to favor the Bears with their running game if they can get it going early against this Packers defense.
Okay.
We'll see. It's chilly on social media. It's going to be chilly outside. It is everything you'd want, I think, from a Bears-Packers matchup leading into this one. And with that, Nika, let's look at the injury report. And I look at this injury report this week from both teams, and it just looks to me like we're getting pretty close to all hands on deck here. And as it should be. It's a playoff game. It's a do or die situation.
Exactly.
Both teams are looking about as complete as you would expect them to, minus obviously the Packers because they lost Micah Parsons for the season and Tucker Kraft, their tight end, for the season. Those are two big losses for them that should not necessarily go unnoticed as we talk about them in the playoffs here. But the Bears, meanwhile, they look the most complete yet for this matchup that we've seen in a long time. And that's because some key players are returning, Nika, including Rome Odunze, everybody. It is once again time for Rome in Chicago. He is back The new injury report came out today. We got the final one before the end of the week because there will be no Friday injury report with a Saturday game. And Rome Odunze was a full participant in practice, not limited, just a full participant. That's great news.
Very good.
He is not even listed as questionable, everybody. He is going to play in this game Sunday.
All hands on deck. Basically.
I want to remind everybody, Rome Odunze was leading the league in touchdowns when he got this stress fracture in his foot earlier this year. And he tried playing through it for a while, and then the Bears did finally put him on the shelf. This is a huge weapon for Caleb Williams to get back. You know, the one thing it does do is it puts DJ Moore then like on your second best cornerback if you're the defense. But he might get some better matchups now out of this because you're going to want to put the better guy on Rome.
Yeah.
Anyways,
options.
Awesome stuff there. And we also got good news on the defensive front because Kyler Gordon is back, everybody. He is expected to play, and we need him. Now, he is on this injury report, and he's listed as questionable, but he was a full participant in practice today. And Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, said he's game planning with Kyler Gordon in the lineup. The last time Kyler Gordon got set to play, he got injured in pregame warmups. And so I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch here, but if he is in the lineup and going to play, this is a huge boon to the Bears secondary, everybody, because he is without a doubt the best cover cornerback we have. So hopefully you stay healthy and stretch, dude. Stretch.
Especially in this cold weather.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. No slip it. I mean, you could just slip and re-aggravate your groin or whatever. And I think he had a groin. So, yeah, careful, everybody. Careful. Well, another interesting name that's come up is Braxton Jones, everybody, the offensive lineman. I don't think Braxton Jones is going to be starting or anything this weekend, but he's there for backup, and he's a lot better of a depth piece than what we had before he was back. So I'm glad to see him back in the lineup. Again, don't expect him to get a lot of snaps or anything like that, but he might play. He might be there to give a guy a breather, a spell for a second. We'll wait and see what happens. You can see some other names on this injury report, including DJ Moore. He's listed with a knee. He was limited, but full today, so that's good. And everyone was full except for a few guys. CJ Gardner-Johnson, he is still out with a concussion, everybody. So, and then Amen Agbagbamia. I think I said that right. He is out as well with a concussion right now. And since he wasn't on the Tuesday injury report and didn't show up until Wednesday, I think that they might have discovered this a little bit late. And so I don't think he's going to play either. But aside from that, the Bears looking almost as complete as they have in a really long time out there. So that's exciting going into this game if you're a Bears fan, I think. And Ozzie Trapillo, I'm hoping to see him out there. He was full, and he's been dealing with a deep thigh bruise, according to reports. He did not play against the Lions, and I think that that was a factor, everybody.
Sure. Is he on the injured list or not really?
He was limited the last 2 days, and he's full today.
Okay.
Full today. So he I think he will play. He's not listed as questionable.
Play. Yes.
That's a big. I want him out there. You know, I want our top 5 offensive line out there for this game.
Definitely.
For the unity. They were one of the reasons why the Bears won this division this year, hands down. So we need all of them out there. Well, let's turn our attentions to the Packers, everybody, because they had some injury issues down the stretch, as we know. Of course, the big ones we mentioned, Micah Parsons, Tucker Kraft, but Malik Willis, who came in for Jordan Love when he got a concussion against the Bears in Week 16, he is expected to play. Is he going to be a backup, or is he going to be playing a little bit more of a role in this game? We'll talk about that during the keys to victory, but it does look like he's going to play. He's been limited Tuesday and Wednesday. I do not have the Packers Thursday practice data here yet. So they have not made declarations on these players yet that I'm talking about, and I didn't want to wait around for that.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Dontavian Wicks, everybody, has a concussion. He's been limited in practice. He's not on the did not practice list, so I think he might be more of a game time decision. Like, is he clearing protocol?
Yeah.
Zach Tom had a back knee issue a few weeks back. He also went out, I think, in that Denver game. And he is going to play, I believe, according to Matt LaFleur. but he has still been limited the past couple days. I wouldn't be surprised if most of these guys play, honestly. Like I said, this is an all hands on deck moment for both teams this season. That's really all of the big notes that I have here for the Packers. With that being said and out of the way, let's get on to Kenny's keys to victory, everybody. This week, we're going to start on the defensive side of the football. My number one key to victory for the Bears in this game, everybody, is that the Bears defense needs to just get off the damn field. They've been just on the field too much of the games the last 3. Count them, 3. The last Packers game, Week 16, which we won with a miracle comeback, the San Francisco game and the Detroit game, they all dominated time of possession against us, and that's because the Bears' defense was not getting off the field. So this whole bend, don't break philosophy that's sort of kind of taken over the Bears' defensive identity this year is great. You know, I admire it a little bit, but at the same time, you got to get off the field sometimes. You can't just let every team go 90 yards down the field against you and then fail to score.
Yeah.
And get a field goal and consider it a victory every time, because you're just not going to leave your offense enough time to get in rhythm, to get some momentum going, to run the game they want to run. Ben Johnson loves to run and use the clock, and he can't do that as much if the Bears are trailing. And if the defense is getting on the field for these long possessions, and then you get the ball back and you got like 2 minutes before the halftime all of a sudden because Detroit used 25 minutes of the first half clock running the ball down your throats and converting on third down. So
do better on the defense.
There needs to be some less gashing here, and there needs to be some lockdown earlier than just the red zone, guys. Anyways, if this happens again, I don't see the Bears winning this game against the Packers, I feel like they're the ones that kind of discovered this secret formula to success against the Bears in Week 16 at Soldier Field, because they own time of possession for the first time against the Bears in a long while this year. So it was the MO on how to beat the Bears, and that carried out for the rest of the season. And here we are now, Week 1 of the playoffs. Will it continue? If it does, look out. I don't like it. And the last thing I want to say about the defense is that they need to make adjustments fast if things are going rocky early on in this game. Like, you cannot just wait around and hope things get better and guys execute the game plan, but no.
Yeah, you got to adjust.
If you need to check out and see how other guys on the roster are doing, I'm looking at you, Tyreek Stevenson, who did not get a single snap against Detroit. That was a topic that came up in the media a lot this week. And, Jalen Johnson is pretty much healthy and he's out there, but, Nashawn Wright gets burned a lot out there. As much as he gets turnovers, and I admire that too, he also gets burned a lot. You might have to take a different look out there if things are not looking great. That's all I'm saying. Let's talk about the offense and the coaching matchup in this game, because we have Ben Johnson taking on Matt LaFleur in the playoffs, and this has kind of become a story of its own. And my key here is that Ben Johnson needs to win the coaching matchup in this game. He needs to outfox Matt Littlefinger LaFleur, okay?
Littlefinger.
Well, they kind of look alike. Don't get me wrong.
Game of
I'm
Thrones
not
reference.
saying Matt LaFleur is that cutthroat, but he is a little bit sneaky and crafty to me.
Sure.
And so I think that nickname is sort of apt, if you will. It's on the nose. But another interesting aspect about this coaching matchup is that it's really rare in the NFL ever for teams to play each other 3 times in about a month. And this game is going to be the third matchup between these two teams since week 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's a 6-week time period, as it says, but it's really like a 5-week time period, I think. So it's not been that much time, and they know each other pretty well here. And it just makes me think that whichever coach kind of outfoxes the hen here is going to be the one who comes out on top in this game. So I think it's important for Ben Johnson to outmaneuver his opponent on the other sideline in this one.
You have to play chess.
Yeah. I mean, which tape do you watch here? Do you watch the previous Bears footage, or do you watch the Lions games from last year?
I watch both.
I watch as much as I can.
Yeah.
I think Ben Johnson has the advantage, though, in that we know what the Packers are. And we've seen them in the playoffs before with this head coach and quarterback regime. We have not seen Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams in a playoff matchup yet. And we don't know what was left, I guess, on the cutting room floor from the regular season that might make an appearance in the postseason now. Well, another interesting sort of side story to this whole game that's kind of come out and is sort of being talked about is Matt LaFleur playing for his future in this game, along with the GM, Brian Gutekunst. But there's been a little bit of talk that they are on the hot seat a little bit in this game should they lose. And that's not just because of their status, but also because of some other coaches that have become available from the NFL's Black Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday process. We're getting more this morning, the Miami Dolphins. So Black Thursday arrives in Miami. You know, this is an interesting side story in all of this, but I think the fact that it's come out, it does put some additional pressure on the Packers in this game. You can't tell me that they're immune to all of this and that they're just not listening or paying attention to any of it. They hear it.
Of course.
They have to know, you know, and I think they will come out and play passionately, not just for Matt LaFleur, but for Jordan Love too, because of the concussion hit that he took against the Bears on this very same field a few weeks ago. So I think you're going to face a pretty pissed off team, if you will. The other interesting note Mike Florio brought up, I like Mike Florio a lot, and so I tend to take in a lot of his content on a weekly basis, especially about the Bears when he talks about them. And he brought up a really interesting point in that he feels like the Packers would give themselves an advantage in this game if they were to use a little bit more of a 50-50 mixture of Jordan Love and Malik Willis, who came in for the injured, concussed Jordan Love in that first game and kind of made the Bears look foolish a lot.
Yeah,
and he presented some interesting challenges for the Bears defense that they didn't necessarily game plan for against Jordan Love. Like, he can run a little bit better and scramble out of the pocket a little bit better. And
the Bears didn't prepare for it.
Correct. And they probably will be at least prepared for it. But again, you're going with Jordan Love. And if you think he's the primary guy you're going to be facing, you got to plan for a pocket passer most of the time. And Malik Willis is not that. So, you know, Florio was making the argument that you could catch the Bears, you know, off guard a little bit by playing both quarterbacks in this game and giving them different looks and keeping them on their toes. I also feel like Matt LaFleur is kind of sly enough to do something like that, if you will. The one thing that gives me pause in this is Jordan Love. You paid $220 million for this guy. How does he going to take being like kind of told, hey, we're going to use you half the time against the Bears and
you're not good
probably
enough.
The most important game of the season? And I just don't buy it. So as much as I like where Mike Florio's head is at from a coaching and a strategy perspective solely, the $220 million financial reasons give me a lot of pause on this one that we'll see anything like that.
Yeah.
This is Jordan Love's game unless he gets injured again on the field.
Definitely. And also, how is that going to reflect the next season?
Exactly.
How is that going to help?
No,
or
I
not?
know. I mean, let's say they win, but they use Jordan Love 50% of the time. How does
Right.
it even affect him going into the next playoff game?
Exactly.
Like, was it just for the Bears, or is this the new Packer look going forward, at least this year? You bring up a lot of great points / questions there, and obviously we won't know until they're answered on the field.
Yeah.
But that's just, again, another reason why I don't see this happening. Now, I would say that you should maybe use 2 to 3 plays with Malik Willis that are specific and maybe come at specific times in this game to try and catch the Bears off guard. Now, maybe that's something I would do.
Don't give them ideas.
Not to give the Packers any ideas or anything, but I just don't see a 50-50, 60-40 split being realistic in this game.
No.
All right. Now, for Ben Johnson, this is his first playoff game ever as a head coach, and so I just want to see what tricks he might possibly have up his sleeve. But either way, this coaching matchup is going to be one for the legendary books, folks. I think it's going to be a good one, and Ben Johnson needs to win if the Bears are going to win.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of which, right alongside Ben Johnson is his quarterback, Caleb Williams. And my last key for victory for the Bears in this game is Caleb Williams needs to show out in this game. This is why he was selected number 1 overall for games like this, everybody.
But this is a different ball game. It's playoffs. He never been into a playoff.
He hasn't, but he's been in big games in high school, college. Like he's had that big game feeling before that he's had to overcome and done well in. There is industry excitement, I can tell, about Caleb Williams and seeing if he can rise up in this game and embrace the greatness, if you will. I want to see him do it. You know,
of course.
I mean, of course I do. I'm a Bears fan, but I believe he can do it. And I also want to see him do it in this snowy weather, everybody, and kind of make himself this Bears mythological quarterback that can win in the elements. You know, that
the Iceman.
Yeah.
Live up to the name.
The polar bear. Like we play in cold weather. We play in the California sunshine. We can do it all, everybody.
Okay.
He says the right things about wanting to be in big game moments. And this one, there's no bigger moment than this one in his Bears career. So I don't want to put too much of an emphasis on it, but it's possible that this game could wind up defining his Bears career. If things for some reason don't work out 10 years from now, people will look back at this game as the point where it didn't work out. I hope that's not the case. And I think if Caleb does want to be successful in this game, he needs to work Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet early in the game. Like I've been saying the last couple of weeks, you got to get the tight ends involved early on, and it will open up the passing game. Last week, Colston Loveland had a monster game. The problem was a lot of it came in the second half. Again, you know, and we didn't score any points for the first 3 quarters. And all of a sudden, you know, we start using the tight end, and bada bing, bada boom, everything starts working like magic. And so, like, can we just run some design plays in the first couple series here for the tight ends and get them involved?
That just goes to the fact that they don't adjust too fast. They take their time. Let's play out the plan that we had going into this game.
I mean, it's the playoffs. You have to go about business as usual, and you have to get your, you know, scripted plays for the first 15 or whatever. But at the same time, if on the 5th play you don't see that it's working out the way you strategize, you got to be able to adjust and go in a new direction and live with that. So I don't want to see slow adjustments in this game. I want to see the Bears using the tight end early, which has been successful for them, and opening up other avenues of the passing game, both in the short distance and in the long distance. So this is a huge part of this game for me if I'm a Bears fan. And aside from that, Caleb, I just want to see signs that he can be Jordan-esque. Not Jordan Love, Michael Jordan. I want to see that clutch gene a little bit, everybody.
He showed some glimpses of that.
And I think Michael Jordan, you know, made a name for himself by being clutch in big moments. Sure. And this is a big moment for Caleb Williams, and it's Chicago. I'm always going to think about Michael Jordan when it comes to the greatest, and I want Caleb Williams to be alongside him one day. So it starts now, baby. It's the playoffs. You know, you don't get another shot after this game this year. So make it count, kid. Jordan Love is going to be a formidable opponent, no doubt about it. He's like the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. And the Packers fans believe in him. He's really good. Yeah. You know, he's really sharp. He's a good quarterback. I don't think he's as great as Rodgers, but I think he can get them to where they want to go. So this is not going to be an easy matchup by any means for the Bears. The one thing I think they have going for them in their favor is that he hasn't taken a snap on the field in like a month now. So we'll see what happens. The last thing is this is the first test if you want the ultimate prize. This is it. You know, this is not the end. This is only the first test in a long line of challenges coming up. So I hope the Bears at least make a formidable challenge in this game and don't let it get out of hand or anything like that. I don't want them to lose by double digits or anything like that.
Well, it all depends on the defense. We do have offense. Defense is the problem.
Yeah, but our offense needs to like make every possession count in this game and not get going late either. I will. No,
you got to play the 60 minutes of the football.
Yeah,
not just the last quarter.
You got to come in ready for a shootout, even though it's going to be some bad weather. These were my key to victories for the Bears to win this monumental playoff game against the Green Bay Packers. But before we get out of here, we got to take a look at what Vegas thinks about this game, everybody. Vegas thinks that the Bears are underdogs at home in the playoffs to
Less
the Packers.
Experience.
But not by much here. The Packers are favored by 1.5 points. It's a really interesting line. You know, it's borderline insulting. If I were the Bears, I would definitely use this as bulletin board material.
Sure.
Even if I'm the coaches and stuff, and be like, you know,
they think we are the underdog. They think
I would
we
be like,
win.
let's go lose a bunch of people some money tonight and laugh about it later.
That's fine. Whatever gets them motivated.
But when you look at the chance to win, it's very tight. It's only 52% right now to Green Bay to 48% for Chicago, and
it's a coin toss.
It literally is a coin toss. We've heard a lot of analysts and experts from the establishment media talking about this game, and they all kind of seem to think that it's a coin toss, and that's why I think Caleb Williams is one of the biggest X factors in this game, because people don't know what to expect from him in a playoff game yet.
They haven't seen him in that situation yet.
Exactly. There is a lot of love nationally for the Bears to win this game out there. I will say that. It seems to be more the hometown media that's skeptical, and I don't blame them. I mean, we've been tortured and abused for a good long while here.
This is the historical part of it.
Yeah.
The national media comes in just for the show. We've been living this.
Look, I'm not afraid to say it. I think it can change, but I'm not afraid to say it. The Bears are little brother here. You know? I mean,
True.
The Packers have had their number for years. And yet, despite all that, they only have 2 Super Bowls to our 1 since 1970.
So
the first 2 they got were Super Bowl 1 and 2. And those were in the 60s, everybody.
It's been a while.
So, you know, when you look at things from a certain perspective, it's pretty close. I mean, we just need to win 4 straight Super Bowls and we'll have more than that.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Easy peasy.
Well, let's look at the poly markets, folks. The poly markets are leaning Packers as well. It's also close, 53% to 47% as of this morning. It's pretty close out there, folks. But that is favoring the Packers. So if you're thinking the Bears are going to win this game, go get in on it.
Yeah.
You don't have much to win, but you can at least double your money. Now, the spread at 1.5 on poly market, there's a lot of spreads listed, but at 1.5.
Toss up.
Toss up, 50-50 right here. Pretty damn close. Take your pick. And then the over-under, I wanted to kind of talk about this because right now, the over-under in Vegas is 45.5. And I just wonder, with the weather being a factor, we had snow in the forecast. Since then, the conditions have been upgraded to be not only some precipitation in the air most of the day, turning to snow in the evening. There's also some wind now forecast up to 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 35 miles an hour. That's some wind to deal with. So I just feel like more and more you're going to see the over-under go down for this game. And I think you're going to want to play the under.
Yes.
But as the under goes down, you might want to consider the over. Because the lower it gets, the more chance that it's going to go over. I guess it would be funny because whenever this stuff seems to happen, whenever we think like, oh, the weather's going to be a factor, it seems like they score.
Yeah.
And when you think the weather's not going to be a factor, all of a sudden it's like a low-scoring nail biter. Well, that's what Vegas thinks is going to happen in this one. Let's talk about what we think is going to happen. Nika.
Yes.
Having heard all of this information, the keys to victory, the drama, the betting odds, what's your final prediction before this one goes off Saturday night?
I think I'm going to go under.
On the points?
On the points.
Okay.
Under 24-17.
And who are you taking to
the
win?
Bears.
The Bears. 24
you gotta take the Bears.
to 17. All right. I like the prediction. So 41 points total. You'll get the under, and the Bears overcome the odds and get a victory here.
Sure.
Way more than 1.5 underdogs. They win by a touchdown at home. I like it.
Okay.
I like the thinking. My predictions have generally been pretty good this year, I actually have to say, looking back on it. But last week was not very good. I was way off after projecting a huge high-scoring game against the Lions. It was not to be.
Yes.
Even the defense, with their bend, don't break philosophy, held the Lions to just 19 points. And the problem was they just had the ball too long in the whole game. But here, I did a lot of thinking about this, and I wrote down Bears 24, Packers 23.
By a point.
By a point. The Bears' red zone defense lives to fight another day, everybody. We are going to bend and not break in this game. We're going to give up 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals to the Packers and
Just
win
the
this
field
game.
goals. Okay.
And Caleb and Jordan Love are going to kind of duel to a draw in this game. There's going to be no clear cut like, oh, he was the better quarterback. You know, I think they're going to be mostly even Stevens in this one. And the Bears running game is going to outduel the Packers running game in this one. That's my prediction as to what happens Saturday night. And it's going to be nuts. I don't even think I'm going to be able to sit down during the entire game. I'm going to be pacing behind the couch. I hope the Bears win this game, not just, like I said, because it's the Packers, but because it's the Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams era. And I want to see it go as far as it can this year. I like the Bears' future. But I also know a loss like this can come back and haunt you. You know, it can stay with your franchise for a while. And the Bears have no easy road forward here. Not in this playoffs, not in next year's regular season. And we'll have plenty of time to talk about all of that.
Sure.
But let's just take care of business first on Saturday and beat these damn Green Bay punks and send them back to the cheese land.